Come, we fly!
You kind of scared me.
Hey everyone, Dan and Leslie back for another Disney dining review.
Today, I'm actually a little, maybe irrationally excited for this one because I love hibachi, and so I've been looking forward to going to Teppan Edo in the Japan Pavilion at Epcot.
This is a fun one. We've only done it once before ever. We did it with the boys. It is your traditional, hibachi where you're in a group around a giant cooktop, and they're cooking things and flipping things and setting things on fire. It was fun. We've done lots of hibachis, but only one at Disney World. It was fun previously, and I anticipate it's going to be a good experience.
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest reason that we didn't really go back time and time again is that it at the time, which it'll be interesting to see it again, it wasn't any different than the local hibachi experience we could have, where we lived. And so it didn't make sense to spend that time in the park doing something like that. But
plus it's a show along with the dinner, so it's a little bit longer.
Yeah.
So, but I'm anxious to go back because it's been
years,
way before COVID ever happened. That's the two time periods of my life, COVID and pre-COVID.
You can actually get a handful of appetizers here, like edamame, some miso soup. There was a couple of other options. There's also some sushi rolls. The thing is that the hibachi itself, if I remember correctly, I always roll myself out of there. So I'm not sure why I would need an appetizer or a sushi roll on top of that.
Sushi sounds good though.
All right, we might get a sushi roll.
Are there any specialty drinks? Is there like a green tea old fashioned or something?
Well, I don't think there's that. There are, so you've got Tokyo Sunset, a whiskey sour, the violet sake.
Did you say a violent sake?
Violet.
Oh, it's purple.
Yes. Iced blood orange, that's with gin, so you wouldn't like that. But there is one that piqued my attention. It is a Nagori mimosa, which is an unfiltered Nagori sake, orange juice, grenadine, and sparkling water. I thought that sounded interesting.
What else we got?
A lot of them sound fairly sweet.
I feel like Japanese restaurants, it's either like a Japanese beer, sake, or like a sweeter cocktail. Isn't that?
Yeah. So we may or may not, I may have to just resort to getting some sake because I really like sake and not great drinks. So
they do have several sakes available. Okay. All right. Well, we are once again late.
No, we're not. We're fine.
Sorry, sister. We gotta go. We gotta go eat some hibachi.
You want a sushi roll?
I think that's a no. All right. Are you ready to do this?
Yes.
Let's go.
I don't know how much we're going to actually get to talk into the camera as we are doing this, so we'll probably film a lot of what they're doing and talk more whenever we get back home.
I couldn't even hear what the waitress was saying, and she was standing 4 feet away from me, so it's like a dull lull in the all the noise right now, but it is super loud in here. There's 4 of these hibachi tables in one little room, and there's multiple rooms all the way down the hallway. Yeah. Real quick, I think we are going to get an appetizer of sashimi sampler, which is 2 pieces of tuna, salmon, and yellowtail. And then what are you going to get?
I think I'm going to get the vegetarian one. So it is it's just the seasonal vegetables, mushrooms, and tofu.
I think I am going to get the filet. That sounds pretty good. They usually
I'm gonna steal a couple of his bites.
Okay. Well, before the craziness begins, we got salad. How is the salad?
I always love the dressing on the salads at hibachi restaurants like this. It's just,
Is it a ginger dressing?
yeah, like, I just love it. It's so good.
Two kinds of big sauce. This is ginger sauce, ginger soy sauce. Goes well with steak and vegetables. Anybody would like to try? Not today. Not today. Not today. Peter Mickey. Yay. Japanese magic water. On the volcano. And choo-choo train. Ready. 1.5. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right, so all the food has been cooked and delivered. What do you think so far?
Yeah, so it's delicious. Oh my god, these mushrooms, I did the add-on enhancement. I'm so glad I did, because the little bit of mushrooms I got with the vegetarian dish, it just wasn't quite enough mushroom for me, and the add-on is perfect.
All right, and the steak looks fantastic. Just got put on the plate. I'm gonna dive in and we're gonna finish this up at home.
All right, we are back.
It has been a hot minute since I've had hibachi. But before we get into that, if you would like to plan your next magical vacation, please reach out to us over at Fantastical Vacations. We plan Disney destinations, Universal cruise lines, and all-inclusive resorts. Woo! I like keeping you on your toes.
You do. You definitely do. All right, let's just dive right into it. I have my thoughts, and we'll get there. So, the cocktails just did not appeal to us at all. They all seemed very, very sweet. So you actually got a little bottle of sake, and I just got.
It was wonderful. It was the unfiltered sake. I liked it.
It was good. And I just got a Japanese beer, Sapporo, but we're not rating them on that. So we're gonna skip that. We are gonna split up ambiance and theming, and there's a very good reason why for this restaurant.
Yes. All right. So when we sat down, and I immediately looked at Dan and said, yeah, we have to split up ambiance and theming because I can't hear anything in here. I mean, it was so incredibly loud. When our waitress came and she was talking, like looking at me talking, I was like, what? You know?
Yeah.
And so it was very difficult. There was like a couple moments of just like,
There is a long hallway that connects everything. The restrooms are at the end of the hallway. The check-in is at the beginning of that hallway. And in between, there are all of these different rooms. Probably what, six or eight?
Yeah.
Probably six.
Yeah.
And then in each room, there are 4 hibachi tables. And then there are 8 seats at each hibachi table. So, and then the rooms are open in between each one,
Yeah.
which makes the noise. So at any given moment, because there's only one station cooking at a time in these, at least when we were there, in these different rooms. And so there's usually like a break of a little bit of silence where it's just a normal restaurant volume. But then when the next station like churns up and starts cooking, there's, you know, clanging and clapping and yelling and stuff.
I
and
can't imagine having 2 cooking at the same time.
We've been to other hibachi restaurants, and this is kind of unfortunate because normally we're comparing restaurants to other Disney World restaurants. Here, we are comparing this restaurant to not only other Disney World restaurants, but other hibachi restaurants off property.
I'm like thinking about Shogun's back in Tulsa, like, you know.
Benihana, any of those. Yeah, I mean.
You know, usually the tables, it's loud in those places too, but the tables are
spread out.
A little spread out.
In an open room, not in like little tiny rooms that echo everything.
Yeah,
off
and
of each
so
other.
we could actually, I remember going to Shogun's in Tulsa multiple times with a large group of people where we filled the entire table and we were able to have a conversation. There is no way I would have been able to hear.
Nope. All to say, it's a little bit below average. We gave ambiance specifically a 2.
However, theming, I mean, it's all in. You've got your hibachi grills, you've got your Japanese chefs, you have your Japanese waitresses and servers. Because of all of that, I mean, it's just very immersed. So we did give theming a 4.
Service, it was straight up average. Like our waitress was fine. And I don't include the chef cooking in part of service. I include that as part of the theming, the show. But the waitress, one, there was a language barrier there. I mean, so even if we could hear her, which she did come up close to us and like yell at us so we could hear her a couple of times, and it was still hard to understand her. But that being said, like I don't know if it was because of the language barrier that she didn't come around as often as maybe she should have, or maybe it was because of the show. But she did come around enough. Like she filled up waters once. She did ask at the end, like when the chef was done, if anybody wanted extra sauce or rice. So I feel like she did her job. It just wasn't over the top or just, I mean, she definitely didn't explain anything and you couldn't hear yourself think, let alone her talk.
I was going to say, I don't even know if that's necessarily her fault.
That's what I'm saying. It may not be her fault, but overall, we have to rate service overall.
Yeah. She probably has tried in the past and nobody can hear
She's
her.
like, to heck with it. I'm just taking their drink orders.
So all that to be said, we gave service a 3.
Food is actually pretty good. Again, I gotta compare this not only to Disney restaurants, but also other hibachi restaurants. Shogun, Leslie mentioned, this was in Tulsa, where we are from in Oklahoma. We went there on special occasions, birthdays, anniversaries. So we went there probably 2 to 3 times per year for like a decade. So we're pretty familiar with how that hibachi restaurant worked, and it just wasn't as good as that. So I can just compare it to that. That's the one that we're most familiar with. We've been to other ones, but for instance, the fried rice was non-existent. You only got white rice. There was no option for fried rice. And I
missed the fried rice.
I like watching them cook the fried rice because they're doing tricks with the eggs and stuff.
Spinning them, flipping them.
Shogun, everyone got shrimp, like a couple pieces of shrimp, whether you ordered it or not.
They would toss them in your mouth.
Yeah, they would do tricks with the shrimp. She did one trick with one fishtail, and that was it. The fire onion volcano was non-existent.
Now, I will argue, I did get an Olaf instead of a fire volcano.
She built an onion and put a little carrot in it, and
he was quite cute.
It did steam, but there was no fire.
It was very Disney.
Like, fire is quintessential to the hibachi experience. You gotta have the fire onion, right? The fire volcano onion. And let's see. Dessert was not included, where it has been in other hibachi restaurants.
Like just a little bowl of ice cream. Yeah.
The appetizer, we did get a salad with ginger dressing, but at other hibachi restaurants, you get 2 appetizers. You get the salad and miso soup. You don't get miso soup here. So like, I just feel like it wasn't quite there on the food.
Especially when you compare the price, and the price was comparable or a little higher than you would get at probably your local hibachi place.
That being said, we did start off with the sashimi platter. It was $16. It came with 6 pieces of sashimi sushi. I assume that it's the same sushi that they're using next door at the new whatever. The new sushi place. We're going there in a few weeks. It was salmon, yellowtail, and tuna. The tuna was a little grainy for me, but the other 2 were lovely. They were great.
Yeah, I wish we would have started with the tuna because I ended with the tuna. Anyway.
Salmon was probably the best. And as far as everything, she was cooking, the chef was cooking in front of us. I feel like the veggies were pretty good.
I did very much enjoy my mushrooms.
There was no fried rice, so it was, she did dump some noodles on the veggies, but she didn't make the fried rice. And then other than the veggies with the noodles, all I got was the steak. Like there wasn't any extra shrimp, there wasn't any extra, like even if you only got mushrooms because you ordered extra mushrooms with your vegetarian meal, and the vegetarian platter came with a little bit of mushrooms. But nobody else got mushrooms.
Right.
So I don't know, like it just didn't quite hit it for me. And the sauces, the ginger sauce was very good, but the other sauce for the shrimp and the chicken was not.
pretty heavy.
It was like mayo-y and not that great.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of mixed. I'm like, it's better than average. It does not hold up to like any of like the Disney Springs restaurants or even hibachi restaurants off property. We gave food a 3.5.
Yes. All right, so if you add all that up and divide it out, it is a 3.125, which I think, looking at our experience, I think that's probably about right. It's a little bit above average.
Yeah.
If you love hibachi restaurants, it's a great option for you. But I would probably choose to go to like Via Napoli instead, or I don't know, anywhere.
Well, in Epcot, there's so many good restaurants. Plus, you have all the festival food booths.
Yeah.
I would eat at, honestly, I'd eat festival food booths before
Yeah,
I went
probably
back to hibachi. So I'm glad we went. It was not a bad experience. Again, if you love the experience of hibachi, you're gonna have a decent meal. Other than that, I would probably save hibachi for when I was not on vacation, because most cities have a hibachi of some sort,
Yeah.
and it's probably gonna be better there. Save your Disney experience for quintessential Disney things.
There you go. If you are liking these videos, please hit that like and subscribe button so you don't miss the next one.
And we will see you on the next video.